What's going on today, guys? We're working on a local customer's brand new Corolla hatchback. We're going to be doing multiple different things, so make sure you stay tuned. We're going to split it up into multiple different videos. So it's a little chilly out here. Let's just go ahead and pull her on in and get her started. So we have the Injen intake for the 2019 Toyota Corolla. Let's go ahead and get this open. Show you guys what's in the box. So we got our instructions. We got some more instructions with some tubes, coupler, other things. Our filter. Our intake tube, a little panel. That looks like about it. So it has full instruction manual, which you won't really need after watching this video. You always want to look over everything and make sure you understand how to do all this stuff. This is the gloss black that has a little bit of sparkle to it. It's a pretty cool color. We got the blue nanofiber dry filter. Comes with all the bolts, zip tie even, and a heat shield. All right, so let's go ahead and get into this. There's 4 10 millimeters on this little part of the box. There's this Phillips / 10 millimeter here, and there's one on the actual throttle body here. So we're gonna go ahead and loosen up / remove all of these. All right, we're gonna go ahead and pull the plug off the MAF sensor. Set that aside, and we'll actually go ahead and pull the sensor off of here. And we're gonna go ahead and put these screws back in because we're not gonna use them on the new one. And we're gonna go ahead and pull the crankcase vent hose off. Gotta weasel it off of here. And we will pop the top of the airbox. There's a clip right here. And there's this. Just gonna go ahead and pry this out. Be very careful. And that comes out of there. That is your airbox top. It's got a little charcoal filter inside of it. Pop your filter out, it's still nice and clean. Now we have this open, there's 3 more 10s. There's one right here, and there's 2 more inside the box. The top piece can come off, and the base has a little locating pin you just pull out, and that is the base. And you're gonna go ahead and wanna remove this one last screw that is actually for the radiator. So our heat shield here has this little bracket, and that's where that one goes. And Injen provides you with some fender washers and new bolts. So we're gonna go ahead and just set this in here. We're going to start this one. And then we have 2 more fender washers and 2 more bolts. I'm gonna go ahead and start these in here. We're not gonna tighten these quite yet. We're going to hands tighten them, so not super secure. Just to get it in place. And they supply you with a little bit of trim here. I'm gonna go ahead and start at the base, and then go ahead and go all the way around. Don't have to worry about how far it is in quite yet until you get it most of the way around. And then once you get all the way around, I'm gonna give her a little bit of a mark here. Sounds a little bit annoying, but you're gonna go ahead and pull it off and then slice it. Make sure the edge is nice and clean. Then we're gonna go ahead and reinstall. You can cut that on this heat shield, but you risk cutting yourself or scratching the heat shield. So I just go ahead and remove it and then reinstall it. Then you have it nice and neat. And if you put that on the bottom, you won't actually see it. And it comes with this little shield here. Then you're gonna wanna go ahead and get this all nice and snug on here. I'm gonna put this little rubber trim on the top. All right, she's nice and snug and in place. Our nice new Injen coupler. And we want it so we can actually see that it says Injen. And then you're gonna want this so it's accessible. So you want this facing out so you can get to it. Same with this one. Pop that on. We're not gonna tighten those yet. This comes with supplied little Allens. So we're gonna use these M4 screws provided with a 4mm wrench. Now, as you see, the intake goes on this way. So we're gonna go ahead and feed this through here. And we're just gonna set this in the coupler. We're not tightening anything down yet. We're just getting it in position. So it makes it easier for us to put our MAF sensor in. Go ahead and set that on there. Put our M4s in here. Be very careful because if you drop these, you're gonna be very, very angry. You can't install this when it's just outside the car. I just prefer to do it this way. Now don't hulk these on there, just get them on. Give it a little quarter turn once it's snug. We're gonna get this a little bit more located. I'm gonna get the crankcase breather on here. Now it's in place. We can go ahead and put the clamp back on and give it a little bit of a pull that way. And then we're gonna grab our bolt for this. First of all, we're gonna go ahead and remove this Phillips head screwdriver off of the bracket here. And this is the extra screw. All right, so you're gonna wanna remove this bracket. There's this little tab and you wanna push this tab this way and then this will come out. You're gonna wanna use like a little flathead or a knife or something to go ahead and like give it a little bit of pressure. Then we're gonna take this, go ahead and tighten her on in. Be very careful, you can cut yourself. So now everything is on. Let's give this all a little wiggle. Make sure this is all exactly where we want it. And we can go ahead, test fit our air filter. Now that we're all test fit, we're gonna go ahead and tighten these clamps down. I'm gonna use an 8mm. Get her lined on up. And we're gonna go ahead and get her tightened down. And make sure this is lined up. Get it in the position where it's easiest to tighten the one that's on the throttle body, and go ahead and snug her on up. And these hose clamps don't have to be crazy tight, just snug. And they provide you with a zip tie to re-secure this in place. So we're gonna go ahead and locate the zip tie on the back here so you can't see the head of it, so it stays looking factory, and then we'll snip that off after everything's done. Tighten this back in. Nice and secure, not going anywhere. And you remember these three 10mm we started on at the beginning? You go ahead and make sure that those are tight. And we're gonna grab our filter and put the head for the hose clamp in a position where we can get access to it. Let's go ahead and put the filter back in. You just kind of slide it by, don't squeeze the filter or anything. And go ahead and pop her on. Get her where you want her. It's good right there, right? No seam. There's a seam on the filter, so I always like to have it not showing. And we're gonna go ahead and do the same with the head of the hose clamp. I'm gonna put it kind of back here so it's not too visible. Get her nice and snug. Make sure everything is tight and in place. And we're gonna go ahead and plug our MAF sensor back in. And this is all tight. Everything is snug and in place. Oh, look at that. Looks really cool. Let's start her up and see how she sounds. nice improvement. We get a little bit of horsepower, looks good, and gives you a little bit more miles per gallon. So that's it, but we are doing a few more things to this car. There'll be links to those videos at the end. And if you don't know, we're doing a giveaway right now until January 31st. So make sure you click up here. Other than that, that's it for this episode. So we'll see you on the next one. Peace.